Hello guys, what's up? I'm back not too long after, and I have amazing news. We are mostly out of the street. We're definitely going to have to figure out this plant chest, but I thought it would be okay to leave it here for now, and I haven't gotten any crazy complaints. And then we do have our fishing chest with just a few other things. I was gonna say before we go inside and see what I did a little bit off camera, I need to show you something else, but we're just gonna do this. So I made this little area here, and like I was saying in my last video, I kind of wanted to make it like a little bit of an apartment. So, I feel like it's a little cozy in this area, a little cozier than like a normal kind of common area for maybe an apartment complex. But so we got our mailboxes, 1 and 2, and then so I'll be living here. I definitely plan on decorating a little bit more, and it's not the best place. We got some water leaking from the ceiling, but it's better than the street. So yeah, this will be our first kind of room of operations. I got some stuff cooking. I went mining a little bit. So here's kind of our updated stuff. I did get some more iron. I'm still having a pretty hard time finding it though. So I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. I really don't want to have to make an iron farm, but I will if I have to. But yeah, this is where we're living right now. And then upstairs, oh yeah, I forgot that I moved the staircase from that corner to this corner because I wanted to make kind of this divide here. And this is where we might have kind of like a villager roommate with a garden up top. So, oh yes. Oh, well, let me sleep first. I was gonna say, you may be noticing that the villager that was in the boated villager over there is gone. He just did not want to get off of his profession. I went over there, I broke the block. I even brought it back here and like showed him like, hey, this is your block. I broke it in front of him, and he wasn't having it. So he left. He has left. I let him free, and he left the village. But speaking of village, just a little bit of an update. So I know we're going to try and avoid the going over to the war crime machine, but I figure we'll be over here a little bit at some point. So the design I used last time actually didn't work at all. Well, not at all, but it stopped working almost immediately. I think a zombie got in it. So we made a different one. You can see there's a ton of villagers over there. We will free them from their prison shortly, but yeah, so this is just the new design, and oh man, okay, well, yeah, we're going to have to work on getting them out of there. Just pretend you didn't see that. We're just gonna pretend that it's not happening. But yeah, that's pretty much the extent I did off camera. Oh yes, I did make a custom tree here. I'm pretty happy with how it looked. I wanted to make kind of a bigger one with a little bit of a different design than that one, and I feel like it looks good. So that is pretty much everything I did off camera. But I think we should check our mailbox because yeah, I did see Mr. Fitzgerald. I know you guys never see him, but I saw him, so he's probably real. And he put a little note in my mailbox. So let's take a look. Mr. Thog, in order to grow our village, I believe a leather workshop and cow pasture are in order. If you complete these structures, I will issue you a permit for the leather produced by both. Mr. Fitzgerald. Okay, that's super sick. So, we need some armor. Leather armor will be good. I did forget one last thing that is related to that. There is this signboard that came up, and it was the town rules declared by Edict 1 under Mr. Fitzgerald, and it reads, "For your safety, please refrain from using tools and armor higher than stone without proper permits. Further, please refrain from using resources without permits from vendors or local government. Additionally, if possible, please try and purchase materials from local vendors and store owners to stimulate our local economy. Requests for permits can be submitted to the mayor directly or be given by local vendors. Lastly, please submit requests for future builds not directly associated with the local government or vendor requests." So we'll definitely have to keep that stuff in mind. I I forgot that it came up, but given that we do need some armor, so we need to get this leather permit. So I think what I'm gonna do this time is I don't think I'm gonna put it there. This kind of spot here I have reserved for something else in mind. And there are cows on the other side of the river that I can bring over. But I don't want to put the leather workshop here, so it might just have to go here, kind of in this space, or maybe in this area. Hello, chicken. And we can figure out where we're going to put the cow pasture, if we want that in town or not. Maybe we keep the cow pasture over there. I don't know. But yeah, I just want to tell you guys what I was thinking, and I will get to building, and Future Thought can take it from here. Before we enter the time lapse of the build, I'll explain my thinking a little bit. I decided to build across the river where the cows usually were. I thought it would be smart to separate our rural buildings from our actual town. While there isn't an ideal way to cross the river at the moment, I still felt like it was a good idea. The note from Mr. Fitzgerald said to build a pasture and a workshop, but I feel like the pasture would have a lot more character if it was its own thing, and away from the workshop. I decided to add an old stone farm building. In my mind, I was thinking, someone needs to tend the cattle, and so I started this project. I decided to use different gradients and really texture the building as best as I could, while still trying to incorporate Junglewood into it. Here was my attempt. I then did the unthinkable. I actually did some interior decorating. The same episode that I built the place. I know, insane, but it happened. Given that my materials are still partially limited and I'm not super experienced with Minecraft interior design, my decorations ended up being fairly simple. Even so, I think it worked out, especially for an old farmhouse. I then went to work throwing up fences for the pasture. It ended up being pretty big, and looking back on the footage, I think I may want to replace the fences with stone fences. Regardless of if I do or not, I will definitely come back and decorate the interior of the cow pen to make it look a little more lived in. Anyway, I went and gathered the cows from the surrounding area. I know I missed some, but I wanted to try and get at least the ones on the mainland in which I built the farmhouse. It wouldn't make much sense to have cows wandering around the cow pen. I ended up with some pigs and sheep within the pasture, but I will go back and fix that later. After finishing the pasture, I moved on to the major project of the episode, the Leather Workers Workshop. Unlike the previous build, I wanted to make sure that this was close to town, so I could easily access the shop for trades. I started off by terraforming the land slightly, so I would have some more space, and then got to work. I've never been a terrible builder, but by no means have I been the best. To challenge myself and make my builds look a little better, I wanted to get better at using block palettes and gradients like I did with the farmhouse. In this build, I'll be experimenting with using a new palette in our town to create some depth. It might look rough now, but I think it shapes up later. After working on the roof, I extended the exterior shop area and started working on the interior. I wanted to section the build into 3 areas: the shop, the workshop, and the villager's room. I really wanted to give the interior some character, so I decided to decorate it best I could into more of a fantasy style, with work tables, a bench, a source of light I often associate with old Minecraft, and finally some shelves. While I was building, I was feeling like the walls on the outside needed a little more texture and depth, so I decided to add windows. I had a cool idea of dyeing the windows brown, thinking that if the windows were exposed to the workshop on the inside with the dust and other things from the leather making process, that they would become tinted. I actually ended up really liking this choice, not only thematically, but also aesthetically. I started placing fences and signs, replicating the roof pattern I made for my own home. I'm not sure what it's meant to be on the build, but it adds depth and looks good, so who cares? I then started placing flooring for the shop area, starting to wrap up the build. With that, there was only one thing left to do. Once I introduced our new leatherworking villager to the shop, I added a bit more to the shop front so he wouldn't charge out, and with that, the shop was finished. All in all, I was happy with the farmhouse build and loved the way that the leather workshop turned out. I was super excited and felt like the palette brought some extra depth. Let me know what you think in the comments. With that, I ended my building for the day. Let's hope Mr. Fitzgerald is prompt with our new permits, because I am due for some armor. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.